shoot. Okay. Oh my goodness. So that was a disaster. Live chat. Okay, now I can see chats coming in. Oh my goodness, what a disaster. Okay, so I don't even know how long I was blabbing on before sound cut off on the last stream. What an okay. Oh my goodness, I just did it again. My self talk was just about to say like, what an idiot. Oh, I caught myself. Okay. When you were singing, oh, you know what happened is I actually took this out. You know what happened is I think when I grabbed it to sing, I think I accidentally touched that button. Oh my goodness, what an idiot. And picked up the mic. That's when the sound went off. Okay. So, thank you so much, Patty. Let me just pick up from there. Okay. So, and what I'll do is maybe download the other video and edit it and cut out where the mic goes out. And it might sound a little different now because I'm actually just using my MacBook mic because I thought maybe something was going on with this. So anyways, let me just pick up from there. Okay, so after I decided to pick up the mic and sing like an idiot, I should stop that. Like I could have done much better. I could have just not picked up the mic and I could have not acted like a fool. But what's done is done, right? I can use that experience to be more understanding when somebody else messes up and does something that I would consider as foolish. Ava, haha, lol. I wouldn't have done any better. Oh, thank you, Ava. Oh my goodness. My daughter, Ava, she's always so kind, and she's always looking for. One time she was even trying to tell me like, that I sometimes go overboard, like when I grab the mic, But she was looking for a nice way to say it. She was like, Dad, sometimes, I really like, when things you say. She was like, but, sometimes you're a little extra. And I was like, extra, I was like, what does that mean? She's like, you're just a little extra. You say things and you go a little extra. Anyways, my daughter, Ava, she always tries to be kind, even if she's going to be honest with me. Okay, you're welcome. We were reading lips. Awesome. Okay, so where I was going with that is the song Ray Boltz. I think it's a little misleading because where did I mention in that other video before the sound went off that it took David 16 years by the time he was anointed, and then he became king. 16 years, and no one even thought to call him. He was out watching the sheep because he didn't matter. He was just a shepherd boy, a dirty boy that watches the animals. He probably smells because he sleeps with the sheep. So nobody even thought to call him. But when he got anointed by Samuel, nobody expected that. But also it took 16 years. But from the time God picked him to be king and he was anointed by the prophet Samuel, it took another 16 years before he actually sat on the throne, before he was crowned king. So what I'm saying is it takes time. Change takes time. But the song is a little misleading because up until the point where, he says like, when others see a shepherd boy, God may see a king, even though your life may be filled with no ordinary things. I love that. But the part where he says, in just a moment, he can touch you and everything will change. No, it won't, Ray Boltz. No, it won't. In a moment, he can touch you, yes, but everything doesn't change in just a moment. Change takes time. So I think that's where, sometimes, like even me, I feel like I misunderstood, like I never even considered that. I didn't really know. I remember studying it, but I forgot again. But I'm glad I wrote it in my journal. But yeah, so it takes time. And then, Pauline, constructive criticism, Ava, LOL. I do that with my own dad. Okay, so I think I went over this, but I'm just going to go over it just in case. While it takes time to change, during that time, because I did mention this after the singing. Brian Tracy gives a really great strategy. He says, imagine yourself 5 years from now. Look into the future 5 years from now, and imagine that you have a magic wand. And you can wave this magic wand, and everything will magically be however you wish it to be, however you want it to be, your ideal self and your ideal life. What kind of house would you be living in? What kind of people would you be working with? What kind of work would you be doing? What kind of, what kind of car would you be driving? What kind of clothes would you be wearing? What would your partner, your relationship with your partner and your, family, what would that be like if it was everything was perfect? Think about it and then write it down clearly, right? And then once you write it down clearly, your 5-year goal, what you want your life to look like 5 years from now, you write that down. Then you come up with 10 things that you could do to make that goal happen. And he's saying this is harder than you think. And I know because I did it in my own journal, but it's harder than you think. So you write down what your life would look like if everything was perfect 5 years from now. Then you think of 10 things that you could do, um, that are realistic goals, action steps that you could take that would help your 5-year perfect, you know, um, reality. What would get you, what would make the most progress towards that, what would help you make that happen, make that a reality. So you come up with 10 ideas, and he's saying sometimes it's that last one that's really the breakthrough. But then you look at your list, and then you ask yourself, which one of these on my list of 10 things that I could do, which one, if I made it happen tonight, would make the most impact, would get me the closest to my, you know, get me furthest, closer to my goal. Which one of these 10? And then you work on that one. And that's how you prioritize your goals. I love that. But again, it's that 5-year, like what would your future self look like? And then be patient with yourself as you grow, because um, and be patient with others. I wanted to share. I I hope I'm not repeating something that I said the last stream, but I think it's important to share. So it's like the butterfly. The butterfly. It takes time for the butterfly to emerge. And let's say a boy who loves butterflies, and in his eagerness to help, he opens up the chrysalis before it's time for the butterfly to come out. It it actually kills the butterfly. The butterfly needed that struggle time to become strong, and then it emerges, right? And then once the butterfly comes out, did I already say this in the last one? Anybody? Um, it pumps its wings, right? It can't just take off. It can't just fly. It has to spend hours pumping its wings, practicing, getting stronger. Then it can take flight. So even after you've transformed, even after you've gained a new skill, it still takes some time to really take flight. So, give yourself that time, be patient with yourself, and be patient with others. Kind of like the butterfly struggling inside the chrysalis. Let them struggle, let them make their mistakes, because that is necessary to make them stronger. Be curious. This keeps me humble because I never want to approach a situation like I know all the answers. I want to go in and ask questions and try to figure out, what can I learn? How can I be better? And that the thing I wanted to share with being curious and asking better questions is Tony Robbins says that the quality of your life is mostly determined by the quality of the questions we ask ourselves. So as soon as I started this live stream, why am I such an idiot? As if I ask that question, then my mind immediately goes to work on what to answer that question. Why am I such an idiot? Well, because you've always been an idiot. You always, you were an idiot when you were a kid. Your father was an idiot. He was probably his father was probably an idiot. I probably come from a long line of idiots, and hopefully my kids don't end up being idiots. And so it goes like that. It goes negative, because I asked a negative question. My mind has to come up with negative answers. So you don't so instead of asking myself, why am I such an idiot? I can ask myself, how can I get better next time? How can I be a little more aware of clicking this live chat instead of top chat or whatever? Like literally the last stream, I didn't see any comments, and I was actually starting to feel a little like insecure, like, oh my goodness, like people are just watching and judging me. No one's saying anything, but I mean, I have to, instead of saying, why am I such an idiot, or why am I so stupid, or why do I mess up so much, especially publicly? It's like, and rather than ask that question, because then my mind is going to start coming up with the answers for that, I have to ask myself better questions. How can I become better? How can I use this experience to become more compassionate with other people when they make mistakes? Things like that. So be curious and then be helpful. So be helpful. Maybe I'll, because I'm trying to remember what I said in the last stream, and I think that's kind of handicapping me right now because I'm trying to remember. Oh, what did I say about be helpful in the last one? I don't want to repeat myself, but Patty, I just say to myself, don't be such an idiot. Yeah, don't act like such an idiot. I guess it's better than saying, why am I such an idiot? But anyways, be helpful to others. Where I had an example of this. I was saying King David, right? So between the time King David was anointed to be king and then he became king, that 16 years, he didn't just sit back and watch the sheep the whole time and just chill. I'm like, well, I got it made. I already know I'm going to become king. I was anointed, baby. What you going to do about that? You know, I'm just going to chill and watch these sheep. You can't do nothing to me. You can't tell me nothing. He didn't do that. He was helpful. He even went to the battlefield to take his brother's food and supplies and stuff from his dad. He was helpful the whole time, the whole 16 years. He was helpful to other people, to his, even when he challenged Goliath. That wasn't because he was boastful or egotistical or he wanted to draw attention to himself. He saw a situation. He was like, wait a minute, I want to help. And so that's the thing. The time that it takes, it's going to take time for you to grow. You can't change destination overnight, but you can change direction. So even though in just a moment things will not change, it takes time. So during that time that it takes from deciding what you want and deciding who you're going to be, and then that time it takes to actually become that person, during that time, you have to learn to pass that time well by being patient with yourself, with others, by being curious, always having that spirit of a learner. Because as long as my self value doesn't come from needing to be right or needing to know everything or know it all or be so wise, I have to be careful with that, because I'm just sharing things that I'm learning because I have so many flaws that I'm working on. So, like I pick up a book like, that says like how to get over your fears or nerve, how to stay calm and keep your cool in stressful situations, or books like this. I'm reading these books because I have problems with this, right? And so then I want to share these ideas that are helping me that I never even considered. I don't want it to come across as preachy, as, oh, you should do, look at how much I know. I never, and I think I was talking to my friend Daniel about this. My friend Daniel came from Alabama. Like I think it's a 4 or 6 hour drive, from Huntsville. But anyways, I was so grateful to see him. I love him. But we were talking, and yeah, it's like, where was I going? I just talked about my friend Daniel, and I just totally forgot my train of thought. But where was I going with that? Because we talked about a lot of things, Daniel and I. I was probably trying to bring up what we talked about. Holy cow! But anyways, um, oh, about okay. I was telling my friend Daniel that I actually am feeling a lot of anxiety these days because I never thought, 7 years ago when I started this YouTube channel, I never thought that it would become anything like it is now. And I never expected groomers, especially young groomers, to message me and tell me how inspired they are. And I was telling my friend Daniel, I am afraid that people might find out who I really am and find out that I'm actually not this, you know, special, amazing person that's gifted and wise. And all this stuff, and especially if you knew about my past, things I did in my past, because I just had such a bad attitude. I would complain a lot. I'd complain about everything, and I would tell my wife, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the facts. But when all you can do is just state the negative facts, that's called complaining. And Jim Rohn brings up the great example of the children of Israel. You know, the children of Israel complained so much that God finally said, "That's it, trip canceled. I can't take it. I've had it. Trip canceled." Which goes to show even the God of the universe can only take so much, right? But complaining is such a deadly disease, and I had it. I would just complain about this and that. I had such a bad attitude, and so you know that, and of course, I still catch myself doing that sometimes, but it took a long time. It took a long time for me to become aware of it first and then decide that I wanted to become a different person. And then it took that time. But in between those times, I would mess up and I would lose my temper and, things like that, and get impatient with myself, But you got to remember, like, oh, it's because I'm not that person yet. I'm working on it. I'm becoming more aware. So, anyways, change takes time. And the reason why I wanted to do this, especially, is because we talked about goals and our other, setting goals and things like that, and I'm going to Toastmasters and things like. But I think it's important to realize that things don't just change overnight. Things don't just happen in just a moment. Everything changes. No, you can change you can change course overnight, and you can chart a different course. You can choose a different destination overnight, but you can't change where you are. You can't change location overnight. That takes time. So during that time, these are the things I believe are important, and this is how you can spend that time well. The time's going to pass anyways. So during that time, be helpful the whole time. Be curious about things. Ask good questions the whole time, and be patient with yourself and others. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your time. I think, oh, my mom still hasn't called. So I guess, yeah, you know what? Uh, any questions? Because I know there's a lot of questions about what our business. So right now, I'll just until my mom like text me or something that she's left the airport. Let me just. I got time to kill. So because I was supposed to be there by now, and I told my mom I'll just sit at a coffee shop or something and write my journal, and I'll just wait for you. My mom was like, "It's gonna take hours. It looks like, I guess there's no one there working customs." So, oh, Andrea Berta, nice. You're doing great, June. Thank you. So, I guess that's all really all I had to share is just, you know, like take the long-term approach. Don't get frustrated with yourself, especially when you make mistakes. And Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers, he talks about how it takes 10,000 hours. I think I said this in the last stream after the mic, after the sound went off, I hope. But he says it takes 10,000 hours of focused practice where you're trying to get better, 10,000 of those hours to actually master something. So, give yourself time, be patient with yourself. Amateur super fan, what's up? Hi, everyone. So, now that I'm done with this idea and I had some time to kill. Oh, in the last stream, when I actually saw that I was sharing something super important. The reason why I'm not going to share what I've written down that for my 5-year goal and the action steps that I can take, is because it involves my family, and it's something that I actually really want to come true. So I don't share it publicly with anyone. And here's why I believe that you should not share your dreams or your goals with anyone. I'm so glad I remembered this. Do not share your goals or dreams with anyone unless you are absolutely sure, 100% sure that they want it for you too, that they share your dreams and they share your intentions and your goals, and they would be happy for you, right? Those are the only people you want to share your goals and your dreams with. Because if I showed you what was in here, and I told you what my 5-year ideal self, my future self would be, and anybody watching this, I know right now, the people who are watching this right now, Dina Rogers, Patty, the people. This it says 7 people are watching right now. The 7 people watching right now, I don't have to worry about. I know you guys. If I shared what was in here for my 5-year goal, I know that you guys would want it for me too. But I know that after the stream, there are some people who watch that put a thumbs down, that make some negative comments, that don't really like me. If they were to think to themselves, Psh, yeah, he thinks that's gonna happen. Yeah, right. Like, or anything, or puts any kind of negative energy towards what I shared. We all have equal power. We all have equal creative power. We're all equally valued as human beings. And we all have equal power, creativity. So, as far as our imagination goes. So, if I share it and somebody has a negative, then it can cause my dreams and goals to take longer, maybe, or not happen. So I only share them with my wife because it involves my wife and my family. So I want to make sure that my wife agrees with what I want in 5 years. And one of the things that I wrote in here that I had to cross out and I changed was I wanted to become famous. Like, not not the perfect kind of famous like I am now. Like my daughter Ava says, my daughter Ava is like, Dad, you're the perfect kind of famous, because people know who you are kind of online. But when we go out to, we were at H Mart. She's like, when we go in H Mart and shop for groceries, nobody knows who you are. We can go out and eat, nobody knows who you are. She's like, we have our privacy, but you're kind of famous. You're the perfect kind of famous. So, anyways, I'm not talking about the perfect kind of famous like I am now. I wrote down in my journal that I wanted to be like legit, like Hollywood famous, right? My wife doesn't want that. She's more private, she's a more private person. And she said that it would make her feel very uncomfortable if we had that kind of attention, if I became like a Hollywood. And here's the thing, my wife is so amazing and super support. I hope everybody's as lucky to find somebody who's supportive, because she didn't say, you can't become a Hollywood star. She said, if you become a Hollywood star and the lifestyle that comes with, I wouldn't be happy. So she didn't say that it couldn't happen. She just said, I'm sure that it could happen. She's always supportive of my dreams, and I hope that that's the kind of partner that you have. Or if you don't, look for that kind of partner. Don't settle. But anyways, amateur super fan. That's a sweet thing your daughter said. Yeah, right. My daughter is she even says she's my number one fan. So, but I don't mind sharing that, because even though I say that and I say, oh, one of my goals was, to be, I wanted to become like superstar famous, um, anybody who watches this later on, even the haters, and they laugh and they say, oh, you know, you come from a poor family in Trenton, New Jersey. I was an illegal alien. I had to be naturalized when I was 20 in my 20s. I grew up with a horrible attitude and a chip on my shoulder, and asking for rice from the deacon of our church, because I remember this. I have a it impacted me so much that even at 38 years old, I remember this, and I was probably maybe 7, 8 years old. I have like no other memories of that time in my life except walking to that. He was in the same apartment um, complex as us, so we walked from our apartment, all the way to his building, and we asked for some rice because we didn't have any rice to eat even. Like, I remember this, so it's like, yeah, someone like that become a Hollywood star, for what? Dog grooming? I don't care if people say that, because I don't even want it to come true anymore, because it involves my future. I want my wife in my future. My future involves my wife and my daughters. They're in it, and I wouldn't be happy without them. So I have to be considerate and take into consideration when I'm forming my dreams what my wife and daughters want as well. So that's why I share my dreams with my wife. And also, the Bible says when two or three are gathered, there I am. You literally have the power of the universe, along with, working on your side when you can get two or three people to agree on some meaningful goal for the future. Dina Rogers, everything you're saying is so true. why I do not share my dreams with my family. And it is sad that I am not able to do even with my husband. Oh, I love that your wife is that way. Yeah. And I can totally relate. My mom, when I told my mom that I wanted to become famous, she goes, "Liga," and in Korean that means you. Like, how are you? And I don't think she was trying to be mean. I think she just wanted me to be realistic in her mind, realistic. So, "Liga," you know, and that's just how it always was. Everybody, like nobody really. I'm the least likely person to succeed ever, really. I mean, anyways, Cheetah, Karina, June, you are the best. I am just starting out as a bather at PetSmart, and isn't easy. My coworkers are awful and walk all over me. Oh, but I am loving dog grooming so far. Oh my goodness, Cheetah, Karina, there's a book. One of my clients let me borrow this. I have to return this to them. Crucial Conversations, Tools for Talking When, what is that? When Stakes Are High. This book, oh my goodness, it's so helpful. You can listen to the audio version of it. It's on YouTube as well, I believe. But oh my goodness, it's so helpful on learning how to speak and stand up for yourself and have those crucial conversations, those kind of conversations that make you feel, oh, your stomach turns, and like, yeah, I don't want to avoid, I want to avoid this, uncomfortable conversation that I have to have. This gives you the tools for talking when stakes are high. I really recommend that book for you, Cheetah, Karina. After you or listen to it on YouTube, it'll give you ideas of how you can actually approach those situations tactfully. Um, Dina Rogers, hey, do not discredit that dream. Even though it is not written down, it can still come true. No, I did write it down. I crossed it out. Yeah. Keep your head up, Cheetah, Karina. If they are that way, then they are not worth being worried about. Exactly. People who are achieving goals and they're feeling good about themselves and they're feeling good about life, they are never mean to people. In my personal experience, the people who are critical, overly critical, mean, like just, things like that, they talk down to you, walk all over you. The people who act like that, they're people who have hopes and dreams that they never had the courage to go after. And so anybody who looks like they had the potential to go after their hopes and dreams, it makes them feel uncomfortable. So they're going to try to crush you. But the way my daughter one time, this was when we were grooming in Chambly. She runs into that. She's like, "Daddy, Daddy!" She had an acorn with a sapling that busted out of the acorn, and she pulled it out of the ground. Because she saw it, kind of sticking out of the ground. So she pulled the acorn out, and the sapling, the green little sapling. And I looked at it, and I was like, ew, oh my God. I was like, that's an oak tree. She was like, really? And I was like, yeah, even though that doesn't look like an oak tree, it's an oak tree. I was like, if you put it back in the ground and you give it time, eventually it'll turn into a big oak tree, just give it time. And I love that analogy, Cheetah, Karina. You're an oak tree. They obviously see something in you that threatens them. They see some potential. They see something in you. They see a drive. They maybe a certain look in your sparkle in your eye, maybe a certain way you walk and carry yourself with purpose. This intimidates them. So they're like shrubs and bushes trying to tower over you because you're just a little sapling. You just broke through and you're just starting as a bather at PetSmart. So you just broke through. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But you just broke through as a baby sapling, right? So nobody can even tell you're an oak tree, like you're overlooked right now. And the big shrubs and bushes, they're just towering. They're trying to keep you away, to keep the sun out. They're trying to keep you from growing. But as long as you don't let them, pull you out, just stay there, stand your ground, and give yourself with enough time and effort. There's no telling what someone can become or accomplish in their life with enough time and effort. So just know that you are an oak tree. Even though you may not feel like one right now, you're just a small sapling and everybody's towering over you and walking all over you. Give yourself time. Be patient. Be curious. Be courageous. Have the courage to ask questions. Be helpful, right? And then given enough time, you will tower over all of the shrubs and bushes that try to keep you out of the sun. You're gonna tower over them. They're not even gonna matter anymore. Just don't even pay any attention. Just give yourself time to grow. You're an oak tree, Karina. Um, let's see here. Oh my goodness, Nicole is here. Nicole from Puerto Rico. The Gifts of Imperfection was life changing for me. I just listened to The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, right? I just listened to that. It was an amazing book. Okay, I learned how to accept my flaws and vulnerabilities and to only surround myself with positive influences. I love that, Nicole. You and I, we're vibing. Dina Rogers, exactly. I need to look that up. Dina, I second Chiquili Nicole's book recommendation, the Gifts of Imperfection. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, she has another one called The Power of Vulnerability. I like that one as well. Book by Brene Brown. Yes. And then Cheetah Karina, I feel the love right now. Thank you so much. I found the book on Audible, and I'm definitely checking it out. Awesome. Crucial Conversations. Oh my goodness, there's one part in here because I mean, even like how I talk to my wife or my clients, I I still have a hard time talking to my clients. My wife does all the emailing, thank God, because I have a hard time taking my emotions out of it. And I think that it's such a good thing that my wife is the one doing all the communicating because we just had a client. It was a recent client. They were on the waiting list for a long time. And then we finally got the waiting list moving and we got them on the schedule. And I groomed their dog twice. The first time he was so terrified. Second time he wasn't scared anymore, but he didn't like what I was doing. So he was aggressive and he was biting me and growling. But at the end he was fine. He was happy. But then trying to schedule the third visit now, because we had two visits. The third one, Kimmy, my wife, tells me, "Oh, they don't they don't want you to come anymore." I was like, "What? Why?" She was like, "Well, and for me too, it took me two separate days. I had to reschedule someone else, but we only charged them for one visit. We didn't charge them two separate visits. So I mean, for me, it was a hassle too. It's just the crazy thing is for me is that feeling of feeling rejected, that feeling of, oh, they don't want me. What? My wife was like, we have 16 people waiting on a list. She's like, who cares? Forget it. And I'm just like, but it hurts, like, I don't know why, like we have a lot of people waiting, this is one person that or one dog that was kind of taking a lot of time. And but I was thinking, like, I'm investing my time because later on this dog's going to trust me. We're going to have a beautiful relationship and it's going to be much better. And we went from fear, he was terrified, to angry, so I know we're moving up, because now at least he knows nothing bad's going to happen to him. And he's bold enough to growl and bite me. So, each time it's going to get better and better. So I had this hope and I was investing my time that way. But to feel like, oh, I even wanted to text them and explain, like, oh, next time it might be better. But my wife was like, forget it. My wife was like, why are you worried about that one dog when we have so many dogs? One of the 16 people on the waiting list has 3 dogs. So she's like, there's so many people waiting to get on the schedule. This one person doesn't want you to come back. Why are you, like, but it bothers me. And so I think it's so good that my wife is the one that handles the conversations with, the communication with our clients, because she's not the one going and doing it. So I think that it's easier for her to not be so emotionally attached. And also, my friend Daniel pointed out, she's the oldest. I'm the younger brother in my family. I have an older brother. I'm the younger. And my wife, she's the oldest sister. She has a younger brother and a younger sister. And she's used to taking care of them. She's kind of being the boss, being, just seeing the whole picture and, like, knowing how to prioritize and, like, just kind of, we need to take care of things, we need to get things done, that kind of attitude. He was saying maybe because I'm the younger brother and I'm kind of always looking for that approval from my parents who never gave it to me. And so then I'm looking for that approval from others, and so it's that, maybe that neediness, that needing that that validation, um, you know, because I'm the younger sibling. And I was like, I never really thought about it that way. But, anyways, I thought he made a good point. But, yeah, for me, It's just it's interesting. It's like, and that's how I literally had to talk myself out of it. I was like, we, like, stop worrying about it. Like, yeah, maybe they just don't like how long it was taking, and they didn't like seeing their dog, biting and doing all that. It's difficult to see. So it's like, yeah, it's just not for them. It's not for everybody. And I can't groom everybody's dog. I can only groom so many dogs, a day. So, I was like, why am I worried about that? But it's that feeling rejected, I guess, feeling like, oh, they don't want me to come back. They don't like me. Anyways, Chiquili, haha, yes, I've been lucky. I've been lucky that you've been streaming when I'm working, studying from home. Oh, nice. But yeah, I should not take up too much of everybody's time. You're doing me a favor. I'm literally just killing time because my mom is just waiting at the airport to try to get through customs because she's coming from Cancun, Mexico. So, and she's saying there's no one working the customs line, and so they're at a huge line right now. It's not moving. So, Dina Rogers, I have been watching your videos to learn how to groom my Shih Tzu and build confidence and maybe learn to do others. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you have any grooming questions, ask me. I mean, right now I just have some time to kill. Um, let's see here. Actually, I thought I was supposed to, like, originally my plan today, I was supposed to be, like, I was supposed to already have my mom home by now. So plans change, things don't work out the way you plan. Let's see here. Nora Dawn, also believe all happens for the best for all. In this way, maybe this happened because for your sake, not necessarily because they didn't like you. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, and they even said they feel bad, seeing me work all day like that. Oh, by the way, have any of you guys heard of Kefir? My cousin turned me on to this Kefir, and I was like, because in my college days, Keef meant something different. So I was like, Kefir, what? I was like, because I never took my cousin. So, anyways, I was like, what is Kefir? But Kefir is like it's milk, but like it has all these probiotics and everything. It's like what did they say? It's like Kefir, affectionately known as the champagne of dairy, has been revered over 2,000 years. The probiotic cultures found in this bottle may help support immunity, healthy digestion, and contributed to extensive folklore. Anyways, Kefir, if you guys want to try it out, I mean, you know, I like it. Okay, so if there are no questions, oh, you know what I wanted to do is also kind of explain, because I'm getting a lot of questions now. What does it taste like? It tastes like Greek yogurt. That's what it tastes like Greek yogurt. Um, I've been getting a lot of questions like, so where are you now? Where are you located? What do you do? We're in Georgia. I go to my clients' homes and I set up in their home and I groom their dog, with the client there watching if they want. Sometimes they're not there. And I am completely full as far as how many clients I can service. And we probably have a little bit, one or two more people than we can service because my wife is always having to play musical chairs. And that's about 42, I think she said we have about 42 clients right now, and that's about all we can take is because every month we see them. And I can only groom about 2 dogs a day, and some of our clients have 2, 3 dogs. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm at full capacity. I've had some, famous people, some celebrities contact me, not even directly, through their handlers. All these celebrities have handlers. I've had a couple of celebrities contact me, wanting me to come and groom their dogs while they're here in Atlanta, and I had to tell them no because we have people who've been waiting, and some of these people have been our clients before we moved out to Arizona. The first time we were here in business, so they've been loyal. They've been supporting our business, and to put somebody ahead of them because they're quote unquote Hollywood or famous, that's kind of like saying that they're more valuable as a person. And I feel that every human being has equal value. So yeah, that's where I'm at now, where I can't even take Hollywood stars, because I have a waiting list and I would have to put them at number Well, we were at number 16 before my wife told me just a couple days ago that one of our clients don't want me to come back. One of our newer clients. So it looks like the waiting list is going to move a little bit because some people lose interest. So who knows? Maybe all 16 people won't be still interested. So the waiting list might move a little bit now. So who knows? But we would have to put them behind whoever was the last person. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I guess the next question was, why don't you try to expand? Why don't you try to scale your business and try to make more money? And that's because we tried, we considered it. We sent an email to not even all of our clients because after we sent it to about a third of our clients, the answer was pretty clear. We were asking them, how would you feel if we took on an apprentice and I trained somebody, that way later on when I'm ready to retire, because I can't physically do this, forever. We can have somebody there ready. And a lot of people were just like, we trust you, but you can feel it in the tone of the email message. One lady even asked, can she meet whoever it is we decide to take on? Could she meet them before they come into their house? Because some of my clients, they have to be careful because, anyways, so that's where we're at. I mean, we can't even, I understand now the kind of business that I have right now. It's the trust business, and trust is not transferable. And so, yeah, I can't just transfer my business over to somebody or sell it to somebody when I'm ready to retire. I have nothing to sell, I can't sell them my client list. I think that's illegal actually. And what would they do with it? It's not like my clients want somebody else to come into their house and someone that they don't trust, they didn't build that trust yet. And so that's kind of where we're at. And so that's why the reason, oh my goodness, I'll just get super clear right now about my intentions, super transparent, because I know that right now the people who are watching up until now, I probably lost a lot of the people who don't really care. I'm just gonna be super transparent. The reason why I'm doing a lot more of these videos now, like in sharing how to, use affiliate links, and I'm trying to be more active and being helpful and making more helpful videos, sharing what I know about how to make a passive income, how to trim your dogs and all this stuff, because my what I'm trying to do is, because I know that I don't have a business to sell when I'm maybe 50 years old and I physically can't really lug everything in the houses, and it just wouldn't be practical when I'm like 45 or 50 years old to be doing what I'm doing now. I mean, I have a lot of fun doing what I'm doing now, but it wouldn't be practical maybe 7 years from now, because I'm about to turn 38 and I'd be 45 in 7 years. So I'm thinking in 7 years from now, hopefully I will have built enough trust online by sharing helpful information just to be helpful. Then I can build a course, on like, grooming, of course, but also I can build business courses on the side as well. So anybody that comes to our school, not only would they know how to groom dogs, they would know how to create, they would YouTube channels, they would know how to do all the social marketing. I'll teach them all the editing stuff that I learned. I'll teach them how to use affiliate links. I'll teach them about branding. I'll teach them about everything that I learned, so that they'll have all the tools they'll need, not just to do a good poodle cut, but to also sell it, right? And earn a great living. So that's my thing. So that's honestly why, just to be completely transparent, why I'm doing this is because I'm looking towards my 5, 7 years from now when I'm ready to retire. um, what am I gonna do? I can't just, walk away, walk off into the sunset, with empty pockets. I have to have a backup plan. So that's my backup plan. Is I want to build a school, a dog grooming school that not only teaches dog grooming, but teaches communication and marketing skills. Um, and yeah, that's why I'm kind of doing everything I'm doing now, right? Let's see. Wow. Okay, Cheetah Karina. I'll admit that I learn on the job, not really from my other coworkers. So there are a few groomers that I watch for tips and advice for on my own personal homework. June is definitely, oh my goodness, I don't say that I'm the best. I mean, that makes me kind of feel like anxiety, like, because I'm not. I know I'm not, and I don't want to become a fraud. Dino Rogers on clippers. Do they have to be dog grooming clippers? The ones I have, I think they are for dogs, even though past owners use the standard. I think it doesn't matter. The reason why I say it doesn't matter is because I recently bought wall clippers like for 36 bucks on Amazon. It came with human attachments, the human plastic comb attachments, and I could tell they're human because they're human numbers, not the dog grooming numbers. And even the manual that it came with, I mean, it was. So I think that it doesn't really matter. I think, and I could be wrong, but personally, I think that you could use human clippers on dogs, and you can use dog groomer clippers on. I've used my own dog grooming clippers before. When I shave my, when I used to shave my head and keep my hair really short, and I used to just, I would do a I would do an O comb on top and a two comb reverse on the sides to blend it into my O comb top. Anyways, um, so yeah, I mean, I use dog grooming clippers on myself. I offer to use it on my friends, but once they find out that I clip dog poop off their butts with it, they don't seem too thrilled about having me groom their hair with it. I don't know why. So, anyways, I tell them I sanitize it. Just anyways, picky. Just picky friends. Um, one of my friend, like Karina, Cheetah Karina says, one of my favorite things that you do is the calming music that you play in your salon. Oh, thank you. I mean, these days I play audiobooks because, anyways, but sometimes I do play music, especially if the dog's being nervous, then I'll play music. Nuradan, I have to say a big thank you. 30 years ago, I fell into grooming, bathing, brushing, and beginning learning to the groom. Then life happened, took another turn. Now life has turned. That's awesome. And the thing is, okay, I won't get. I think I'm gonna get too carried away. Dino Rogers, wow, nice. Iceberry Pink. Do you ever groom dogs with heart problems? Yes, I have one right now that has a heart condition, and I have to watch, you know, how stressed he gets. If he starts panting or breathing hard. And so the mom washes and dries him because he doesn't like that. And so she does it because at least he's okay with her. He's a little bit better with her, and so she washes and dries him and, combs him in between and, does a lot of combing and brushing. And then I come and I do the haircut. I comb as much as as little as possible, just as, what's necessary so I can get a good even cut. So I'll comb and I'll just give him a quick haircut and I'm out. So because we have to watch. So yeah, I do groom some dogs with heart problems, and I tailor, I adjust my grooming process and my style to that specific dog. Um, our favorite groomer. This is Patty. Dina, in my opinion. Oh, where did it go? In my opinion, if you groom daily, then I would honestly recommend using dog grooming clippers versus human clippers. Okay. Yeah, that's Patty, our favorite groomer. She has more experience. I think she's been a groomer longer than I have. I'm pretty sure, right, Patty? Let's see, 9 years into it. I'm almost at the 10-year mark. Holy cow. Okay. Chiquili, this is Nicole. Do you use any keratin or straightening treatments for long hair dogs? My Maltese has so wavy hair, and the hair drying is not helping much. Well, the waviness, what's really going to help is using like conditioning spray and just combing the hair straight as often as you can. And we do it with our own hair. They're calling it, training your hair. I can literally train my hair to part in different areas. It'll take time, of course, but you just keep doing it, repeating it over and over. And that's why even when I'm washing the dog, I'm washing in those angles. I'm constantly putting the hair and laying the hair in the direction I want it to lay. And that's, like the 45-degree angles, the 30-60 angle in the back. But I'm using those angles, when I'm washing the dog, even when I'm drying the dog. Everything I do, I'm constantly reinforcing the direction that I want that hair to lay. So that I'm training the hair. And after a few visits, you can start to tell the difference. There's like a one dog that has a cowlick right here, and I've been trying to work that, but it takes time, because again, like the part in your hair, if I only did that once a week, it's gonna take longer than if I did it every day. You see what I mean? So, and I don't know why I would want to part right there. I could be like the Korean Donald Trump or something. But anyways, if I wanted a part right there, then I would have to do it every day. Well, I don't have to. I could do it every week or once a month. Comb it like that once a month. But again, you could see why it would take longer because as dog groomers, we see their dogs once a month or maybe once every 3 weeks. But yeah, one client I see once every 2 weeks, but still, it's if I parted my hair once every 2 weeks, it would take longer for the hair to get trained to lay that way. Hopefully that made sense. J Cake, how do you set your prices? Can you give us example of your appointment process? Oh yes. So the way I set my prices, did I have? Yes, I brought. Oh no, I didn't. I don't have anything to blow my nose with. Oh yes, I do. Okay, excuse me. Oh no. Oh my goodness. uh, a presentation of all the bodily functions by June the Groomer. Shoot, I'm sorry, guys. But yes, the way we set our prices is we have a daily goal that we like to meet, and so in my process, I comb the dog out thoroughly, which takes about an hour or two. Then wash and dry takes about another hour, sometimes a little less. And then the haircut takes about an hour, sometimes a little less. So the time that I cannot control really. Oh, it's my mom calling. Oh, ma. 어? 8시 9분이야, 지금. 어, okay. Okay. Bye, 엄마. So that's my mom. She said, leave in about 10 minutes. So let me see if I can explain this in 10 minutes. So because of the time it takes for me to groom a dog, especially a bigger doodle, sometimes we only schedule one dog. If it's like a big giant doodle that I know is going to take me several hours to detangle, then we only schedule that one dog. So what we try to do is we try to hit a minimum. So we price the dogs that way, like so for the bigger dude. Oh, well, we even have a price list that we have on. I shared on my June the Groomer Facebook page. I'll see if I can find the Google Drive link and I'll put it on this description later so you can see our price list. We break it down by size and coat type. The link, if they have long coated, short coated, things like that, and how many pounds they are, the weight range. So that's kind of how we did it. And I know that sometimes it feels like to detangle a giant doodle for 7, 8 hours. Well, it doesn't take that long. It literally takes maybe three, sometimes 4 hours to get a comb to work out all of that cottony just build up and all that stuff. To get it out head to toe, every square inch of his body. It takes about 3 hours if you're doing it gently, because you don't want to do it too fast either. It's going to make their skin irritated. So you want to hold it at the bit. You want to do it gently. So it takes time. So that takes about 3, 4 hours, and then the wash and dry hour, and then haircut hour. So sometimes it could take like 6, 7 hours, and I'm sweating. I'm dripping in sweat. I mean, it's focused. I'm not just, petting the dog for 7 hours. It's like work, and the dog may be laying down and chilling and relaxing while I'm doing it, but I'm constantly working the whole time. And I feel so amazing. I feel so like because I found something that I can be engaged in for hours and I don't even know that that time has gone by. I love it that much. Because I'm working on a dog and I'm helping them feel better. But anyways, so that's how I look at it. And also, I tell myself I'm averaging about 150 to $200. Sometimes though, I get paid much more than that for a day. But let's just say the average is about $200 a day, right? For me to earn $200 a day at an office job, I'd have to be getting paid like maybe $30 an hour or more. Like yeah, about $30 an hour. And no one's gonna pay me $30 an hour just to, you know, Like it's gonna come with expectations and demands. So I feel super lucky to be in the position I'm in, to be doing what I'm doing. But that's how I we set. And then the appointment process, my wife does all that. So she schedules everything. She scheduled yesterday and today off for me because tomorrow I have Great Pyrenees to do, and I have a lot of big dogs to do this week. So she knows, because my wife has groomed with me, she knows, how taxing it can be on my body. So she schedules days off for me like that. She's amazing. Okay, let me see here. Um, Let me see it because I gotta wrap up and go and pick up my mom. Let's see here. SBA service. Okay. Okay. So yeah, awesome. You guys are answering each other's questions. Sorry about that. I just coughed right into the mic. And that's so rude. I didn't mean to give you anxiety. I just think that you are humble and hardworking, quality to see in myself. Exactly. We see in others qualities that we actually have in ourselves. Everything good that you see in me is actually a reflection of everything that's good in you. I honor the light in me that's in you. Namaste, right? Or that's in you that's also in me. Anyways, so Corinne D, have you ever had to shave a dog because the matting was too bad? Yes, I have. Um And also, even if the matting wasn't so bad, if the dog just couldn't take it and the dog's like, and just, you can tell that this is going to be very traumatic for the dog to go through every square inch and put them through 3 hours of this. If the dog's not tolerant, if the dog doesn't get it after like one leg, I'm like, oh, that actually feels much better. Here, do the other one. If the dog doesn't, if they're being tortured, quote unquote, the whole time, then yeah, I mean, we have to think about each individual dog and what they can handle. So, JK, awesome. I can't wait to learn more from you and your channel. Wow, thank you, JK. Awesome. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up and then get ready to go pick up my mom. And oh, I encourage you, ideas become things. I encourage you to write in your journal what your future self would look like in 5 years if everything was perfect. If you could wave a magical wand and everything was how you wished it to be, what would that look like? Write it down, come up with 10 steps that you can do to make that goal a reality, that dream a reality. Don't tell anybody unless they're your wife or partner. And, or, yeah, even your mom, you got to be careful, but, unless you're absolutely sure that they're not going to, you know, poop on your dreams. Um, but yeah, write it down and then decide out of that list of 10, which one of these, maybe even top three, which one of these three, if I really worked on and accomplished, would move me closer to that 5 year goal. Have a good time with your mom. Thank you. Dina Rogers. Our favorite girl, Patty, humanity over vanity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so patient with me and being so understanding when I cough and all this stuff. I really apologize for just the display of bodily functions, of human bodily functions. It's just disgusting. I don't know. Okay, that's negative self talk. I'm going to continue to try to be more aware and conscious and prepare better so that I do not cough and be so off putting to my audience in the future. Corinne D, don't worry about it. Thank you, Corinne D. I really appreciate it. Um, Cheetah, Karina, have a fantastic night, June. Thank you again for your advice. Thank you as well, chat. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Let's hit it again strong on Monday. Tomorrow's a new day, new opportunities. I'll see you guys.